Hi everyone, McGinn's Woodshop here. When I started off getting into all this stuff, I found one thing that I found intimidating was sharpening my tools. And mostly because I find that intimidation comes from lack of just experience, and simply it. And so you just need to jump in and do it. I really didn't see myself as being able to sharpen a tool really sharp, and then I've learned the sharpness of it through cutting my fingers open. So I'm going to show you some simple technique. I use it, I've learned it from a bunch of different woodworkers on YouTube. Rob Crossman, I think, did it once. I know Sellers did it. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show you how to simply sharpen a chisel. Now, with sharpening a chisel, you're also learning how to sharpen a hand plane and any other tool with a single bevel on it, because they all do the same thing. So let's go ahead and get into this. It's not a complicated process. It's a cheap process with sandpaper. I'm sure stones do a lot better of a job, but this really, it gets sharp enough for me to do my job. What is a dull chisel, you say? A dull chisel is when you're cutting your wood down and it's compressing the wood and not slicing through it. That's a dull chisel. Let's sharpen her up and get using her. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is get my material ready. What I'm going to use here is 2000 grit sandpaper, 600 grit, and 220. And I think I have 1000 here. No, it's 2000. Okay, so the higher grits, get them in your auto department. So your automotive department should have the higher grits. Ours goes up to 2000. So I use 220 only if my chisel is really bad. This one isn't, but I don't mind working it a little bit anyway, just give me more of a flat edge. So what I'm working on here is this bottom edge is flat. Okay? And because this bottom edge is flat and this edge is beveled at a specific degree, about 25 or 35 degrees, you want to make as sharpest point, the end point, as possible. And to do that, you make this bottom flat and then work the bevel into it. So you make the bottom flat, work the bevel into it. That's all we're going to do. So the most important part of the entire thing is a flat back. You get this part flat and you bring the bevel to that. What we're going to do with that, now normally you would use like a glass surface here. Paul Sellers does a really good demonstration of this. And basically what we're going to do is we take our chisel and put it down flat. Now I'm using a piece of pine, and I just want to show you that a relatively flat surface will also work for you. You don't need to spend lots of money or any money, or if you don't happen to have a piece of glass, grab something flat. So I'm just going to do some circles and move around the wood a little bit on the sandpaper, keeping my finger pressing straight down on the blade because I want this flat. I want the very edge flat as possible the entire way across. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a couple more. Now, depending on how bad your chisel is, will depend on how much you need to work it. If you want some help with this, you can draw this all in black with a marker, and that'll fill this in and show you when you're scratching what comes off. You know, you get little divots where the ink stays on. Okay, once I get my back flat, I'm going to go ahead and sit my chisel down. So again, we're just going to lay it flat, put the pressure straight down on the end of the blade, and circle it on the sandpaper. Then we're going to flip it. We're going to put our finger right to the end, 2 fingers to fill the whole end, an even pressure across the bevel and make the bevel just rock, and then settle it to right on the bevel. Lock your hand in place. Don't move anything. Move everything as a solid motion right from your shoulder. Okay, that leaves me a bevel. And as you're pulling back, you'll feel a burr, like a little bump show up right here. You go like that, you'll feel it. You want that an even, small amount. And once you get that, we'll just rub it off, and that's it. Now that's sharp. That's only at 220, so we're going to do the same thing again at 600, and we're going to work our grits up. You can see a high polish coming once you get up to like 2000 grit here.